A group of Titans players had worked out at Montgomery Bell Academy. It's a high school. They're the Big Red. Shout out to the Big Red there in Nashville. This is turning into a big problem, though, for the Titans. So that's the deal. They were out there on a high school field last Wednesday. Then the very next day, last Thursday, the NFL and the Titans informed players they were banned from any in-person gathering outside of team facilities after they got a whiff that the day before they were hanging out at the high school. Look, we saw Brady do it with the Bucs. I mean, these are things that guys do.
So the day after they had their workout, that's when the NFL came and said,
correct,
no gatherings of any sort outside the facility.
Well, they made it crystal clear. They made it crystal clear.
So the NFL and the NFLPA, again, we'll talk to Sam Macho, the vice president of the PA, the Players Association.
So I'm sorry, just a question. So was it already a rule before because when you say they made it crystal clear, was it already the rule before that?
I don't think it was a rule before that they couldn't work out with one another, even though they were not at the facility. Much like Z said, in the offseason, players were working out together. It wasn't encouraged to do it, but guys did it. And NFL guys, when they're off, they still want to work out. And I'm sure that to some degree, they was told to get some work in, but they may have not been told to do it together.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, Zubin. I'm sorry. I just wanted specification. That's
no worries. So let's just recap this again. This situation, it's a 3-day situation. Wednesday, they work out at the high school last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And as Key said, look, I mean, every local news chopper in Tampa was flying over high schools in Tampa, watching Tom Brady out there, and it's nothing new. So that happens Wednesday. On Thursday, they informed the Titans, the league does, they're banned from any in-person gatherings. Essentially, don't do it again. We know what you did yesterday. And then on Friday, both the NFL and the PA sent officials to Nashville to look into possible violations of procedures and protocols leading to the outbreak. The NFL has said from day one, our protocols are tight. The problem is people are not following those protocols. So that's where we are right now. So they're ready, perhaps, the NFL to do severe things. It's not just fining people $100,000. It's not fining organizations $250,000. It's not taking away draft picks. They've actually talked about letting teams say, look, if you're going to do this, we're going to have you forfeit the game. If you're going to actually go there, this is how we're going to get your attention. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Adam Schefter, the league's best insider, who will join us at 9:10 a.m. Eastern, essentially weighing in on if this scenario with the Titans and forfeiture could actually come to reality.
If there is an egregious act, if they find wrongdoing, that they could order a team to forfeit a game. I don't think that's happening here. I don't think you're going to see the Titans forfeit a game in the near future, and I don't think that's something the NFL wants to use. It's easy to throw that out there as a threat. I think it's another thing to actually follow through, and there would have to be egregious behavior to have something like that occur. It's certainly, I don't believe, going to happen right now, but it's something that the NFL holds in its pocket in the event it finds a team that is brazen in the way it treats this virus.
Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. The one thing that isn't being talked about is Mike Vrabel has essentially said, he is on record, we have not flouted anything. We have not done anything wrong. We are abiding by the rules. The league clearly is not taking him at his word, and obviously, as Schefter said there, they're using their due diligence no matter what anybody says. Do you think this is setting up for a major squabble here, Key? Because if there's any evidence, and I'm not saying Vrabel's responsible, if there's something going on in the secondary room and he's not there and he's dealing with a million things an NFL head coach has to deal with, but he's on record saying we've done everything the right way. If the league finds out that's not the case, what's Vrabel going to do?
Well, look, I first of all, Vrabel wouldn't say that if he didn't know, right? There's cameras in buildings in their facilities, so I'm sure prior to him even stepping out and saying that, he looked and checked it out with the security team as well as probably with the NFL and the NFLPA. Much like Adam said right there, it has to be egregious, right? It has to be just we're not following protocol whatsoever. We're going to do it our way. We don't care what Dr. Seal says. We don't care about the CDC. That's not going to happen.
Dr. Seal is the league's chief medical officer.
It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They've made some mistakes. Clearly, what those mistakes are, we'll find out, I'm sure. But it wasn't, I don't believe it was egregious. I don't believe that they just decided to do things on their own and not follow.
Okay. The league is not convinced of that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
Well, it's not that the league is not convinced. The league is doing what they need to do, which is check it out to make sure. They would if they didn't check it out and make sure, that would be irresponsible.
But if you're giving draconian penalties, what they're saying is, fellas, we know what's going on. We're going to find you money, then draft picks, which are gold, and then we're going to make you forfeit a game. They wouldn't put those measures in place.
Well, they're putting them there, much like Adam said, to have it in their back pocket just in case.
They've used one of them already.
Which one did they use?
The fining.
Well, that fining was more about them not doing what the players not doing in Las Vegas what they should have been doing. Not only from an NFL standpoint, but also from a Vegas standpoint in terms of the rules.
But that's the problem. It seems like it's a moving target. Like what is, I guess it's depending upon being subjective, what is something that's finable? Like is going out to dinner. Like I guess it goes back to this point. Is common sense that common anymore? Because I wouldn't go to a room if it was an enclosed area, even if it was for all my teammates right now, considering that we are still in the midst of a pandemic, right? But you and I, we were talking about this during the break, Key. You feel comfortable doing that to a degree, right?
I probably would have gone for my teammates' charitable event with the rest of my teammates to a charitable event. I probably would have gone. But if somebody that was not my teammate had offered me to go to a charitable event, chances are I probably would have said no.
So that's what I'm saying, Zubin. Like this is a very subjective thing since I feel like all these lines are blurred, and that's where there's confusion at it. I wouldn't go. Key would go, but then Key would get fined for doing that. But then we want to criticize somebody like if Gilmore, with the Patriots, then went to dinner with Cam. Like you're not allowed to go out to a dinner.
I don't think. But here's the difference.
I'm not saying that's finable. I'm not saying that's finable.
Here's the difference, though, Jay Will, is they looked at the I don't know why I want to keep calling it a celebrity event, charitable event, as reckless behavior. That's kind of how they looked at that. Cam going to dinner, us going to dinner, that's like normal everyday life right now in the world.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.